everyone, my name is Lisa. I'm 10 years old. I live in Oklahoma City, and today I will talk about a geography of the United States. So first, let's stop at a minute and look at a map of the United States. Well, the map of the United States, we are gonna focus into the mountain ranges. Well, there are three major mountain ranges in the United States: the Appalachian Mountains, the Rocky Mountains, and the Sierra Nevada Mountains. So let's first look at the Appalachian Mountains. Well, the Appalachian Mountains is located in the northeastern side of the United States. It's kind of spread into the south, but it's mostly in the northeast, and it can spread in Canada. Well, it spreads about 13 states, and the Appalachian Mountains, the tallest peak there is about 6,600 feet tall. The Appalachian Mountains is kind of historical. Why? Well, it is the first mountain range that when the settlers come into the New World and when they spread for the West, and that is when they meet the Native Americans. Well, that is a tricky challenge when they first meet the United States. Well, then when we move further west, we meet the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains it is between the Appalachian Mountains and the Sierra Nevada Mountains range. Well, the Rocky Mountains spreads about 8 states, and it goes into the Alaska. And the Rocky Mountains tallest peak is over 14,400 feet tall. Whoa, that's twice as high as the tallest peak in the Appalachian Mountains. The Rocky Mountains is the second challenge when the settlers they have decided that they will move further west. Well, in the mid-1800s, when we first have the settlers move across the Rocky Mountains, and they meet and have some conflicts between the Native Americans and the settlers. So then, when we move out in the Pacific Ocean on the west, we would meet the Sierra Nevada Mountain Range. Well, the Sierra Nevada Mountain Range, it's spread not really. It's not spread very big. It's kind of in the California, and a little bit spreads into Nevada. Well, the Sierra Nevada's mountain range, its tallest peak is 14,500 feet tall. Whoa! The tallest peak in the Sierra Nevada Mountains is taller than the Rocky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains. And if I am the settlers, that's when I move to the United States by the Pacific Oceans. Well, the Sierra Nevada mountain range is kind of a challenge to me because I not like hiking and traveling. So then we're going to the main river resources of the United States. Well, there are 4 main kinds of rivers: the Missouri River, Mississippi River, Rio Grande River, and the Yukon River. Those 4 rivers are the main resources of the United States. Well, first look at the Missouri River. Well, the Missouri River, it starts in Montana, and it goes into the Mississippi River. People kind of think that the Missouri River is a part of the Mississippi River, but it's not. When the Missouri River meets the Mississippi River, and at that point, the Mississippi River became larger. And then the Ohio River comes into the Mississippi River and it becomes larger. Well, the Mississippi River is kind of a large river in the United States. Then the Mississippi River and the Missouri River with the Ohio River runs down to the Atlantic Oceans. That's where it's made a large body of water. Now I will talk about the Rio Grande River. Well, the Rio Grande River is kind of important for the Texas. Why? Because the Rio Grande River is made of the dam, and it's the river that cuts the Mexico and the United States apart. So it's kind of moved on the border of Texas. So it separates Texas from New Mexico and Mexico. That's a kind of important river. Lastly, I will talk about the Yukon River. Well, the Yukon River, it starts in Alaska, in the Pacific Oceans. It's from Alaska, it runs through the Canada and when it goes to Washington, it meets the Pacific Oceans and then it's run to the oceans. So lastly, the last idea I want to talk about is the difference between the capital and the states. Well, in the late 1800s and 1900s, the United States only have 48 states. Alaska and Hawaii will join later. Well, when the United States that time is only have 48 states. And I have a question to you. What is the capital of California? Well, if you're Americans, you think it's easy. Sacramento. But then I ask, is Sacramento a capital or a state? People would think the capital and states are similar, but it's not. The capital is where the government is located. The traffic lights, the rules, that's things in the other city and town are being ruled by the government in the capital. And the states are states that there are a lot of cities, towns in that states. So let's separate between capital and states. So in the United States, we have a special national capital called Washington, D.C. It's not a state. It's a capital, but it's in a special district called District of Columbia. So it is called Washington, D.C. Well, Washington, D.C. is where the government used to decide the rules and regulations in all of the states of the United States. While Washington, D.C. is kind of a special national capital for the Americans. So this was on our topic today. Remember, a capital is where the government is located and the states is a part of land that there are cities, towns, and capital in it. So thank you for listening. Goodbye and see you. Have a great day. Bye. See you soon.